Hey, it's Greg Harrelson here talking with my good friend, great agent, business partner, Brendan Payne. And he and I, of course, are just want to continue, creating conversations on video, sharing them with real estate agents in hopes that we could, make a small difference in the eyes or in the businesses of some of the real estate agents that are out there dealing with the same uncertainties that we're dealing with.
Hmm.
So Brendan, thank you again for taking the time and sharing this time with me.
For sure.
Um, I wanted to have a conversation around leadership, because I think it's times like this that true leaders step up and they shine, and they shine not for themselves, they shine for others, and kind of bring light, to the business, so to help others navigate through the challenges that they're having. So leadership is a conversation I'd like to talk about. Number two, also collaboration, and maybe some of the things that you've been doing in the area of collaborating recently within our company that maybe other people could emulate and maybe talk about the benefits of those. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Let's start with collaboration. I think that's one I'd like to start with. What are some things that you've been doing, maybe that you've shifted a little bit most recently to help you, kind of be grounded and stay focused?
Yeah. So the one thing that I've noticed is the stuff that we've been doing has just been increased probably tenfold. So
Yeah.
I think at a time like this, I don't know that anybody's going to completely change. If you haven't been doing something, it's going to be tough for people to turn on a dime with all the stuff that's going on right now and completely change their model. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's an important distinction because, for instance, with what we're doing, we have always, we always have masterminds within the company. So
Yeah.
from the agent standpoint, there's always some sort of collaboration that's going on about whatever topic is happening right then. And so we're sharing, best practices, scripts, email communication, text communication, and we all kind of rise up together. So in times like this, it's just really, I don't know that we've done anything different, but man, have we increased the frequency, we've increased the intensity. I know you and I have really increased how much we're just sitting in trying to get into the mind of what are the agents thinking? What can we help them with? What's the consumer thinking? Because really, we've got to get our heads right to be able to help the consumer get their heads right. So it's really just been, a quadruple down on the stuff we've been doing, but it always involves kind of groupthink and in figuring out what's the best way to tackle something so that you're out there on your own. You can figure things out, but the time that it takes and the frustration that you go through, it's always easier as a group.
Yeah, that's a good point, that you brought up that, maybe it's not that, okay, how are you now using collaboration to get you through things? Because the reality is you've been using collaboration, for a long time. And collaboration to me is where a group of agents, gather together, share their concerns, share their victories, say, here's what's working. Wow, I tried this, guys. It didn't work. So don't waste your time. Hey, here's a new article. Here's what I found out from this mortgage lender. Here's what I found out from this city official. Just constantly bringing the most current relevant information into a group so you can mastermind that,
Yeah.
And I think also bringing your fears, right, is really good. We had a conversation, you and I and Kevin Mills and Abe, and through that we actually discussed, okay, like what are some of the worst case scenarios, and it's nice to talk about worst case scenarios amongst a group of real estate agents, because maybe how I'm feeling right this moment or how my day's going, it may actually appear to me that it's worse than it really is. Or that could be the case for somebody else, and then you all catch up on that and you say, well, hey, here's another way to think about it. Collaboration, I think at times like this, I think is where we think of like, okay, now let's go out and reach out and help each other. Usually when times are really, really good, people don't spend as much time and energy doing that, even though we should. Yeah. So I like that point. It's like, it's a matter of not, is this something we're starting to do? It's just, we're intensifying it.
Yeah. And you hit on something too that makes me recognize how important all the relationships within this industry are,
Yeah.
because when everything's kind of smooth and you're going along, then you're talking to your mortgage partners about some things, and it's usually the deals and stuff like that. But if there's ever been a time that we have been in our face, realized how many things are interconnected in this business, how many different things impact one part of the business to the next, it's right now. So those relationships, think about if we're back to normal, if we just get back in our lane and we just kind of keep going down the road, just doing our thing every single day and not trying to figure out, we're in kind of damage control right now in our business. Everybody is. So when we get out of that mode, then if we go back to just straightforward in our lane and don't look for the opportunities and the collaboration, then I think we're missing the boat. And I think we did an okay job of that before, but boy, going back in the future when things are back to somewhat normal, that's going to be I think that's an area where we'll be able to really keep focus on that and make some big gains.
Yeah, earlier this morning, I was on a call. It was myself and a few of the top buyers agents within the organization. And we were just collaborating. We were kind of masterminding, and I'm asking them, hey, what are you hearing, in the field when you're calling these buyers? What are they saying? And, each one of them shared something different. I shared something different. And then together we were actually working out new scripts, and maybe we should say this, maybe we should say that. I mean, an idea was, one of the agents is at home and she's got 2 little girls, right? And she's working. But let's face it, I mean, it's a little tough to work at home and you got 2 girls and you're worried that they're going to start fighting or making noises when you're on this phone call. And I'm like, look, this is happening all over America.
Yeah.
Why don't we, instead of worry about it, why don't we embrace it? How about just put both of them on your lap and then cut a video, introduce them to the person that you're talking to and say, hey, I'm still working. Of course, I'm at home like so many of you are, but my daughters and I, and then mention their 2 names and have them smile and wave at the camera and say, we're actually looking at properties on the MLS right now, trying to find ones that would actually fit your needs. Please give us a call if we can do anything. Like that would bring some light to that buyer today if you did that. So, that one idea came out of just our collaborating and masterminding in our office. So hopefully people are doing that all over the country and doing that in their office. The other thing before we get off of this video or turn this video off, what about leadership? Because I think, man, leadership is so important right now. Collaboration's critical. Leadership is equally important. We just have to have some leadership step up in our companies and again, shed some light, share some guidance, point agents in the right direction. You're a leader within our operations, Brendan, but as a leader, what do you feel some of your obligations are right now for agents?
Yeah, this is the time where, leadership doesn't show up a lot of times as bright as it does when things are going great, and I think that in the industry, over the last couple of years, that's probably come out. A lot of times the benefits or the value of having somebody point you in the right direction and give you some direction has been lost a little bit because pretty much everything worked. And now the stuff that we were doing before or somebody may not have been doing in the past, it's not working. And so now people are looking for what is going to work. So your question of what's the role of the leader? The role of the leader is ideally to already have experienced something and then to use past experiences to formulate a plan that matches the new situation. And there's always going to be new situations. So nobody's experienced this to the extent that it is. Nobody's experienced a coronavirus and a complete economy shutdown in some markets. But if you break it down, then if the leaders experience downturns, shift, having to adjust where things that used to work don't, then that's really the ingredients. So if they've been through that and they're willing to look and say, okay, how does that the same as what's happening now and how is that different, and formulate some plans, then it's a matter of just communicating it out. And again, here's the interesting thing. if it's not already in place, it's not going to show up right now. Like it's something that had to already be there in my mind.
Wow, that's a big statement. Yeah, if the leadership is just now showing up, that's probably not a good thing. They probably should have been leading the whole time. I wrote down as you were talking, to me, a leader, a true leader runs to the front, checks it out, and says, come on.
Scout team.
Yeah, and basically kind of like scouts out what's going on, make sure it's safe, finds a path for real estate agents to succeed, and then says, come on, let's go. And you know, and I just think I'm hoping that there's more of that within real estate companies today. And I'm just challenging in a positive way to anybody that's in a leadership role like Brendan and I are, you know, let's all step up and provide guidance and provide certainty for the real estate agents, you know, that we're in communication with. I know that we're doing our best to do that. And this video, sending it out to even our competition. We're trying not to be, you know, only selfish and only help our agents. We're also reaching out and trying to lead the industry in our local MLSs for each market that we're in also. So I appreciate you doing that with me.
Yeah, for sure.
I know we're getting a lot of feedback from the videos.
Okay.
Cool.
Great.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good.